Hey everyone, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your go-to source for all things local sports. I'm Sports Director Brandon Boss.
What is up? It is yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. Welcome into the show. We got a lot to get into tonight.
That's right. What a week it was here on the shore. We crowned a champion, and we have a couple more looking to take home gold this weekend as well. It's a very exciting time of year.
But before we start talking about the weekend, let's talk about this past week's crazy action, Brandon.
Yeah, that's right. Let's begin first with the teams that are still playing who have a chance to win gold this weekend. We have to begin with one of our local teams, how they punched their ticket to their respective championship games. Let's start off with Colonel Richardson Baseball, and my goodness, what an extraordinary team they have up there in American Corner.
They sure do.
They just do not quit, those Colonels. They came back in the final inning against Mardella in the state quarterfinals, did the same thing to Snow Hill back on Wednesday in the semis. There's Danner Swift getting on for the Eagles, and then this would break the 1-1 tie. Colby Heiser's line drive to left, bringing home 2 runs. And at that point, with Heiser on the mound, looked like they would be moving on, but not so fast. There's Austin Glessner, a line drive over the shortstop's head. That brings in 2, and just like that, we are all tied up at 3.
Now in the 6th, Jacob Cohey puts the ball in play, and watch him fly down the line. He reaches first. Now next up is Christian Brewer, who lays down a bunt. Everyone is safe on the play, so that sets up the at-bat of the night. Cameron Godnick for Colonel and Heiser for Snow Hill, and Gondek first pitch swinging. He lines it by the third baseman. The infield was in for Snow Hill, and that was the difference. 2 runs come across the score, and the Colonels add a third in the inning.
Yeah, show off the guns,
Yeah, look at them, and now look at the excitement too. They loaded the bases in the 7th, but they cannot complete the comeback. Colonel is heading back to the 1A state championship game for the 2nd time in 4 years.
Well, I know I'm a good hitter, and when they walked somebody to get to me, I took that pretty personally and felt like I needed to, cash my runs in. My teammate told me he's going to throw you a first pitch fastball, so, I trusted him, and he threw me a first pitch fastball. I sat on it. I was a little out in front of it, but I got a barrel on it and drove it out to left field.
I mean, they're just resilient. Very proud of them. Tell them all the time how much I love them. Never out of the fight. Okay, that's been kind of our motto all year, that we are never out of the fight. We're too talented. We're too deep, and we work too hard.
Brandon, I know he was watching The Last Dance. I took that personally.
I took that personally. I love that line. Before we get into Colonel, I got to say congratulations to Snow Hill. They had a fantastic year, came up just 2 wins short of their ultimate goal. But what a team Colonel has. They've been incredible during these playoffs, trailing by 2 in the 5th against Colby Heiser, one of the best pitchers in the Bayside, who tossed 4 shutout innings against Mardella just a few days before in relief to close out that game. The Colonels kept the pressure on Snow Hill. They put the ball in play, and good things happen when you put the ball in play.
And that's why they're going to be in the 1A championship game tomorrow. They've done a good job limiting mistakes and limiting other teams from capitalizing on the few mistakes that they've had. I mean, so far in this one, Brandon, the Colonels haven't given up more than 5 runs in an entire game, and they've held 2 of their playoff opponents. These are playoff opponents to 1 run and shut out the other one.
Yeah, so incredible pitching, good offense. I'm a big fan of this team. We'll see what they can do tomorrow. They just do not quit on the field. One more thing, Colonel's actually going to their 3rd state championship game in the last 6 years. They won in 2017, they won in 2019, and they'll look to make it a 3rd in 2022, actually a 4th overall for the program. Let's talk about baseball in the 1st state for tomorrow now. 2nd round action coming your way. Top-seeded Cape Henlopen welcomes in Lake Forest, who upset Central. I don't think many people thought that was going to happen, but congratulations to the Spartans. Tech snuck by Woodbridge, so they go as far north as you possibly can. They will play Concord. Caesar Rodney blanking St. Elizabeth in round 1. They are at 2-seeded Conrad. Delmar, the 7 seed, hosting Middletown. Indian River with a tall task. They take on Appo. All of those games are at 1 o'clock, and not pictured here is Laurel at DMA. That one will be played at 3.
Now moving over to the softball field now. Number 3 Sussex Central in the state semis against number 2 Appoquinimink. Runs were at a premium early. Madge Layfield was getting at it again. getting the whiff for the punch out, and then Savannah Lyard in the circle for the Jags. She matched Layfield inning after inning, and we were scoreless until the bottom of the sixth. Tequila Davis drives this one down the third baseline, and Maya Jones rounds third, and she heads home. Golden Knights take a 2-0 lead. And then Central looking for some insurance. McKenna Messina in the box. She puts this one up the middle. McKenna Boyle comes home, and throw is not in time. And Central is up 3-0 in the top of the seventh. And they needed every one of those runs because Alexa Fitzgerald with a deep drive to deep center field. And it's gone. 2-run home run. Fitzgerald brings the Jags within 1 run in the bottom of the seventh. And then Layfield settles right in and gets the call. Strike 3 to end the game. Sussex Central punches their ticket to the state championship as they take down Appo in a final score of 3-2.
The match pitched great, but Appoquidemic, they didn't stop playing. They kept coming at us. Let's go 2 more in the bottom of the seventh. You know, and they're 1 or 2 swings away from beating us in the bottom of the seventh. So instead of celebrating, we could be hanging our head in defeat. Match came through, a couple more strikeouts to end the game, and we ride her coattails. It all starts with pitching in this game, and it's pretty nice to be your coach.
So Brandon Central is just 1 win away, just 1 win away. I mean, they've been consistently good all year, and their hard work is paying off. They've won 9 out of their last 10 games, and a big reason for that stretch has been, obviously, their star pitcher, Madge Layfield.
Yeah, just a sophomore. She is absolutely phenomenal. We've been waiting for this matchup all season long, I feel like. Sure, Central did run into some trouble down the stretch. They shut out 5 teams in a row back in April. But they gave up 33 runs over their last 8 games of the season, which isn't much, but it's a lot for Madge. But here we are. She's settled back into being dominant in the circle once again. The offense has picked it up in the playoffs. Sussex Central's offense doesn't match up well with Caravel's. Caravel's got an incredible offense up there in Bear. But I'm sure that many at home remember last year's championship between Caravel and Central last year that went scoreless into extra innings. Madge Layfield, as just a freshman, shut out Caravel for 7 straight innings, gave up the 1 run in the 8th. Sussex Central not able to get that tying run home in the 8th inning. That was an incredible game, and I know the Knights have been itching to get back out there against the Buccaneers, so it will be so exciting to see that game coming up on Sunday. They'll match up 2 o'clock in the afternoon up at University of Delaware coming up on Sunday, and honestly, I cannot wait for this matchup.
I don't think Madge could either after giving up that run. She's been waiting a whole year for this. So we'll
Absolutely. All right, moving on now to the boys' side over in lacrosse. Ken Island went for the Class 2A state title back on Tuesday. Now, we've seen this Ken Island team dominating on this side of the bay, but you know what? The rest of the state of Maryland didn't know what they had on their hands.
Right.
Let's roll the tape, show the folks at home how they got it done. Ken Island Bucks taking on the top-seeded Huntingtown Hurricanes for the Maryland State Lacrosse Championship. The Bucks throw the first punch, take an early lead. Check out the spin dodge and score by Jack Creighton. Bucks are off and running, but how about the other Jack here? Jack Mulligan coming around from X. He finds the corner pocket. Beautiful shot there from Mulligan. Bucks led 3-0 after 1. Check out the work by the long pole after we see this shot right here. Spin dodge off the long pole, goes lefty, bounces it in. That was pretty, but we're going to see Coy Greenwell with the long pole bring it up for the Hurricanes. And this was a great game, Devin. You were at this game. Talk about it a little bit.
It was really good. I mean, at first, the Bucks jumped out to an early 4-0 lead, and it looked like they were going to blow out the Hurricanes. And obviously, as you see right there,
Jamie Smith
getting that buzzer beater that we might see later on in the show. But it was a little testy in the second half because the second half was a nail-biter because the Bucks were able to just go down and score the different shots that they wanted to score, but also they were giving up more shots to the Hurricanes, especially in the fourth quarter. But once the end, I would say the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter came, Michael Ruffinock was able to just kind of take over for the Bucks offense, and Casey Heath was able to take over for the Bucks defense, and they were able to take the W, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, so they win 11-7. Let's hear from them after the game.
These guys grind every single day for this reason right here. It's evident every day that they challenge one another in practice. Every time we step foot on the field for an active game, you know, there's never enough for these guys. They want to be right here, right now. And the fact that they are is a testament to their hard work and their commitment to one another, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys.
Yeah, it was just a surreal feeling, knowing that we've all grown up together. This has been our entire life, playing lacrosse with the boys, and it's just that last one in, that was the dagger, that was the final goal, and I knew that we brought it home finally.
Again, Brandon, that game was really great to be at. I mean, as I said, the Bucks took an early lead, and they looked like they were going to dominate this one as well, just like they have against all the other Bayside competition. I don't know. I mean, Huntingtown was the #1 overall seed, but I don't know if they knew what they were in for once they matched up with the Bucks, because there was a lot of Huntingtown fans there as well in the stands, and they thought it was going to be really easy, but the Bucks came to play, and they are state champs for it. I mean, again, it was very close. It got, at one point they were up by 5, and then the score got to 9-8, but then the Bucks scored, and you see Ruffinock had those 2 back-to-back goals that kind of sealed the deal for the Bucks, giving them the championship. And again, defense has always been an important cog to their system. So after they gave up those final maybe 3 to 4 goals in the second half, they got the stops and the saves that they needed, and they gave their offense a chance to kind of put it away from them.
Yeah, I mean, just look at some of these highlights that we're showing on our screen. That was an impressive performance by them. This team has some stud lacrosse players. Ruffinock, number 25, made some crazy moves in this game. He was able to break off a long pole defenders with ease, silky smooth spin dodges, going to his left hand right here on the run, using his size to dunk it over guys at certain times. He really popped off the rail right here.
Look at that.
Right here.
Right there.
The guy's just smaller. He's going to go over the top.
And he got right past the shoulder of the goalie there, too.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Jamie Smith and Jack Mulligan supplied some great goals as well. Casey Heath had a great year in net for the Bucks. They were able to shut out Decatur during the Bayside Championship.
That's when I knew. I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys are on a completely different level, because what they were doing to Decatur is what Decatur was doing to everyone in the Bayside South.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, top to bottom, this was a fantastic team. I'm not surprised that they won their 3rd championship in program history, 2014, 2015, and now 2022. All right, now we're going to move over to the lacrosse fields, and we're going to talk about the greatest dynasty in Delaware sports right now, and that's Cape Henlopen girls lacrosse, looking for another trophy. And once again, they are the most dominant program on Delmarva. Yesterday, they were going for lucky number 13 in a row. The Vikings know what they're playing for, that trophy right there, and they started hot. There's Alexei Nowakowski bouncing it in. Cape led 4-0. But this wasn't easy. Devin Chapman made quite a few first-half saves. She stood tall in the goal, and that allowed the Hornets to fight back in this one. And this one stings right here as Callie Clayton off the free position deposits it, and suddenly 1-goal game. But the Vikings have been here plenty of times before. There's Alexis Truitt switching hands, finding the netting to get the Vikings back on track. And who else but senior leader Elizabeth Rishko, scoring 3 straight going into halftime. And this last one with 6 ticks left on the clock, that was a killer for Tatnall.
And Cape Henlopen would go on to score 10 straight goals over 22 minutes of play. And then we had a running clock for the final 10 minutes because they were blowing them out the gate. Rishko finished with 4 goals. And there you saw the goal for her falling to her back for Nowakowski again. Cape Henlopen once again wins the girls lacrosse championship in Delaware, 16-4. That's 4 squared. And once again, the Vikings celebrate after another title victory. That's 13 in a row. 13 in a row for the ladies from Lewis.
They were ready all day. They've been ready all year for this, and we knew that we had to prepare for a really hard game. We just had to keep pushing and scrapping and doing our best, and that's what we did.
The senior leaders that we had this year were absolutely amazing. We really said in the beginning of the season, we said every day you come out, we want positive energy on the field. We want you guys bringing each other up, and the seniors really took that and they ran with it. And every day someone was a different height person, and they were getting each other excited to play.
I mean, Brandon, what more can be said about the Vikings' dominance this season and over the past, dozen or so years? I mean, again, this season they only finished with 1 loss, and yet again dominating their Henlopen and Delaware competition. I mean, I feel like we're getting numb to their greatness because every year, as you mentioned, since 2009, they are the state champions. I mean, it's probably the same conversation over and over again. I mean, they blow out their playoff competition yet again, taking home the trophy. I mean, you were at the game. Tell me a little bit about what you saw.
Yeah, this was one of the more dominant teams that Cape has had in recent years. Tatnall had the size advantage on the draw, so Cape had to overcome that. The Hornets did a great job of disrupting the Cape offense at times during the first half, but they're just relentless out there and went on a 10-goal run over about 20 minutes of play. And that was Cape at their very best. That was the best that Delaware had to offer. The Vikings just ran right through them. So impressive. Congratulations to the Vikings on number 13. You know what? That's a good way to describe it. Sometimes you get numb to just how good this team is, but my goodness, they play such great lacrosse up there in Lewis, and this senior class leaving without having a loss in state in their 4 years.
And so how much of a factor do you think coaching plays into this? I mean, because the players have changed over a dozen years, but the results have been the same.
Coaching has been fantastic. There's been 2 different coaches for Cape Henlopen over the course of these 13-year stretches. Lindsay Underwood, she knows what she's doing, but you know what? They also have some incredible players up there. All right, only 2 games involving Henlopen teams in the quarterfinals on the boys' side now. First, Cape Henlopen as the 5 seed. They take the bus ride north to play DMA. Start time for that one, 11:30. But don't let the seeding fool you here. I think Cape is, without a doubt, the superior team in this one.
And you can see why. Now, meanwhile, Season Rodney winning on the road in OT in round 1. They have to play the 3 seed Sanford, and you see the scores on your screen.
All right, we've got a lot covered so far, but now it's time to turn our attention to Gulls Nation. We're talking about the Salisbury baseball and softball teams and their quest for titles when DSI returns.
Hi, this is Lindsay Underwood with Cape Henlopen Women's Lacrosse, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.